you a professional?
Are you?
That's it, Clark. Show him who's boss.
Oh, we're all in this together.
Hey everybody, what's going on? Welcome back to the Clark Griswold YouTube channel. If you are a first timer, welcome. I'm glad to have you here. And if you are a first timer, make sure you click that subscribe button and hit the bell next to it. I send out videos daily for setups. I also do the same thing on Twitter, so you can follow me on Twitter at Mr. Clark Griswold. You can DM me there and you can comment there. And again, you can comment on YouTube as well. I will get back to you as quick as I can on those. Make sure you give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down if you don't really like the video. I'd like to know either way. One thing I like to say is grab a piece of paper and a pen and you can write down our triggers, because that's what I give you guys here. I give you triggers for the plays that are probable. Okay, so we are looking at 1 week swing setups for February 21st, the week of, which means we get our expiry date 1 week out or 2 weeks out. Okay, so let's start with Baba for our swing plays. On the weekly, we have full time frame continuity to the downside. If you are looking for this indicator, go into your indicators on TradingView. You can go to time frame continuity, type that in, and look for board rider B. There are a bunch of them. That is the one that I choose to use. Okay, so we will be looking for a reversal on Baba 117.07 puts with time frame to the downside. Next up is Keurig Dr. Pepper, that's KDP, time frame to the upside. So we'll be looking for calls on this one for the reversal at $38.62. Two down that finish green, as you can see there. PLTR, that's Palantir Technologies. We have an outside bar on Palantir with a previous inside bar, so it's a powerful pattern there to look at. Full time frame to the downside. So calls at 1436, puts at 1051. And what I like to do, guys, on Twitter is I give you these 30 plays or whatever they are, and then I'll take 4 or 5 of them. I'll send them out as a watch list on Twitter, and usually they have full time frames, either to the upside or the downside, because those ones are just, they're more probable for us to play and have a winning trade on. Okay, so next up is Peloton, inside bar, calls at 34.90, puts at 28.98. Roblox, 8%, almost 9% loser on the day Friday. Outside bar, so calls at 73.92, puts at $47.98. Space was almost a 7% loser on Friday. Outside bar, we had an inside bar previous to that week, so we have a 1-3 setup. We'll look for a 2 up or a 2 down on this one. So calls at 11.02, puts at 8.04. DWAC, that's the Donald Trump stock. We have an inside bar on that. Full time frame to the upside. So we can look for calls on DWAC at $90.15, puts at $78.10. GE, that's General Electric. We had an outside bar on GE, full time frame to the downside, so calls at 102.01, puts at $91.89. SLB, that's Schlumberger. We had a 2 up that finished red, so we will be looking for a reversal on this one, puts at $38.13. TTCF, that's Tattooed Chef. We had a double inside bar on the 2 previous weeks. Then last week we had a 2 down. It finished green, so we will be looking for calls at $12.63. And these would be our targets. So just an example of how you guys find your targets. It's the high of the wick or the low of the wick on all the previous candles. So the high of this wick on the previous candle, the high of this wick on this previous candle, and so on and so forth. And it would be the exact opposite if you were coming down to the downside. Okay, AMC is up next. AMC, we've got a inside bar on AMC. Full time frame to the downside. So we'll be looking for calls at $20.58, puts at $17.63. And again, to help you guys out, if you're looking for a indicator to show you what the bars are, a 2, a 1, or a 3, you can find those. You can type in candle type. It'll be the Strat, and it's by Crinklebind. Okay. So again, there are multiple different ones you can choose. That's the one I use. Next up is BA. That's Boeing. Boeing has an inside bar. Puts at 208.90. Calls at 220.02. BIDU is the next one. And BIDU has a 2-up that finished red with a shooter. And again, a shooter candle, if you guys don't know, long wick, and we just have this red bar here at the bottom that's filled in. That's your shooter candle. This is showing a ton of selling, and this is a bearish candle. Okay, so we'd be looking for puts at 157.21 on BIDU. If this was to the other side, if we had this on the high side, that's what you call a hammer candle, and it's a bearish signal. Okay, Carnival Cruise Lines is next. CCL. Inside bar on Carnival, full time frame to the upside. Calls at 23.63, puts at 21.26. B-Dog inside bar. 1 bar just means we didn't break the high or the low of the previous candle. We stayed inside the range. So calls 176.23, puts 157.28. Disney, I will be watching Disney closely. I like to trade Disney a lot. Disney has an inside bar, calls at 156.92, puts at 149.17. GME is GameStop. GameStop has a 2-up, but it finished red, so we'd be looking for puts at 116.60. KO is Coke. Coke has an outside bar, full time frame to the upside. And on Coke, we'll be looking for calls at 62.89, puts at 59.31. LCID, that's Lucid. Lucid's got a 2-up that finished green. And we have a shooter on it, okay? So we'd be looking, sorry about that, guys. So we'd be looking for calls or puts at $25.70. MA is MasterCard. MasterCard has a 2 down that finished green. So again, you'd be looking for calls at 385.50, but we do have a shooter candle here, so be wary and just you play the triggers. I always tell you guys this, you will not find a easier strategy to play than the Strat anywhere. It's by far the easiest strategy. It's not subjective, okay? So you're not having to draw lines here or there. You're being told exactly where to get in the play and get out of the play. You have triggers, you have targets. There's not some guy might draw a line here, some guy might draw a line there. There isn't any of that. You can if you want to enhance your trading, but you don't need it, okay? So this is by far the easiest strategy that you guys will find anywhere. Next up, we've got Netflix NFLX, 2 down, green, calls at 410.36. NKE, another one that I play regularly. That's Nike. And on Nike, we've got a inside bar. calls at 146.99, puts 139.88. Procter and Gamble is a 2 down that finished green, so we'll be looking for calls at 161.10. And this, if you haven't figured it out, we're looking up in this top right corner here is the 1 week chart. This is a 1 day chart, 1 hour chart in the bottom left, and then this is the 1 month chart in the bottom right. PTD, the trade desk, has a 2 down that finished green, so we will be looking for calls on this one at 83.64. Walmart 2 down green and calls at 139.70. Next up is Ford. Ford has an inside bar, so we will be looking for calls at 18.47, puts at 17.26. LYFT is Lyft. So Lyft has another inside bar on that 1 week chart, so calls at 44.48, puts at 39.48. CHWY is Chewy. Chewy has an outside bar, full time frame to the downside, calls at 54.32, puts at 44.07. The next two, I got Planet 13. You can buy shares on this one. It's an inside bar. I don't recommend playing shares to the downside and shorting stocks. You can lose a lot of money that way. So let's go back into Planet 13. There we go. Inside bar on Planet 13. And again, it is full time frame to the downside. So if you're looking to play options, puts at 278, calls at 328. The only way I would play Planet 13 is buying shares at 328, but again, we have to watch because the time frame is to the downside. I don't like to go against the time frame. MindMed is another one that you can buy shares on. It's small enough. Inside bar, you could take shares at $1.79. Calls would have a trigger at $1.79, puts at $1.52. Last few here, guys. MU Micron Technologies has a 2-up that finished red, so I'd be looking for puts at $88.77. IWM, that's iShares Russell 2000 ETF, has an inside bar, time frame to the downside. Okay, so calls at 207.30, puts at 198.64. And then CSCC, that's Cisco Systems, has outside bar, calls at 57.73, puts at 52.70. That's it for the weekly setup, guys. Make sure again to click the subscribe button, hit the bell so you get the daily notifications as I put them out. Follow me on Twitter so you get the 4 possible best plays to set up going into the following week or the day. And I hope you guys enjoy the rest of the weekend. Check out my daily video. If it's not out already, it will be very soon. And I got a bunch of motivational videos that I've also put up for you guys. That's it. Have a good one, guys, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.